How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Trailmakers Creations by ThatDomGuy. In this episode, we're going to start with a boat. Obviously, you can see I'm standing on the deck of a large boat. This is a transport vessel for any of your creations or builds that might fit inside. So as you can see here, we can go below deck. Let's go to first person. Come down here below deck. And down here we got lots of space. Nice big windows in the front. Windows on the sides. Very nice and airy. Nice of blue carpet happening down here. I'm imagining it's carpet. Probably not really good for carpet on a ship, right? Yeah. But hey, this is not a real ship. And it's not real carpet. So it can be carpet. So we have our sides down here like this. Now you're saying, well, how are you supposed to get your creations in there, Dom? Well, see this sensor over here? We trigger that. And then our sides open up. And now we go, oh, now we're in the drink, having a swim. See, if you want to have a swim, you can have a swim. Oh, now we're up top again. So this is where you get your creations on board. Oh man, first person sucks. There we go. So this is how you get your creations on board. You can see lots of room. It's not too bad for height. Can't put anything super tall in here. Mine, you were super big, but small build, small cars, that kind of thing. So this thing is also built at the right height that if we go back up to, well, let's close the doors here first. Trigger that. Back up to deck. Get in the captain seat like this. So we've got number 1, which is like slow speed. We have number 2, which is cruising speed, maximum speed. We have Q and E, which is for strafing. Moving to the side, which is perfect when we come up to these. That's just the steering under here. The bang, bang, bang. It's making noise. So we can pull up to the docks like this. This is the beauty part of it for loading up your creations. We even got some nice bubble windows up there. It's about as big as you can get in complexity in pieces. I was just trying to make the biggest ship that I possibly could. Someone in the comments suggested I try to make a Titanic. I was like, well, I don't know about a Titanic, but I'm gonna build as big a ship I can. Right in like this. We can scooch right up against the docks. Head down here. Open up our doors. Hey, hey. What's happening with that? What's going on there? Open. There we go. So as you can see, this is the perfect height for getting a vehicle on there, especially a hovering vehicle. Maybe not so much with wheels, maybe the monster truck wheels. That's actually about as close as you can get. And that actually kind of moors your ship there as well. So what I was using as an example was this little guy. So we jump in here and we hit number 1. Let's not be in first person vehicle chase. No, we want to be orbit. So we have our little hover like this. See, so I can come like this and just hover right on board. And then to turn that off, we jump out. And now we got our hovercraft on board. Close up our doors. Head up top. We'll give it maximum speed. Head out to the open water. This will probably work best for hovercraft. Because you gotta find some way to get from this boat into the water if it's not a hovercraft. Even if it was a boat, you'd have to find some way of spawning it off. And seeing as how when you're standing on the deck in here, you can't create or spawn anything because it doesn't think that you're on the ground. So we can just leave this on number 1 and oh no, this is not good. This is always fun to come on, catch the boat. It's a good thing we can fly just faster than the boat, or else away goes your boat and it takes off without you. So we come down here, first person, open up our doors. What? Why does that one keep doing that? Man. Okay, come on, close, and then open again. Yes. Okay. So we'll jump in here. No, that's not the seat I'm trying to get to. So we want to get in this one. Yes. See, and then we can just hover right off of here, right off the boat. Now, getting back into that boat, no. That's, you can go with luck if you want. You can try and do something like, oh, nope. And down goes your hovercraft, and you just did some damage to your boat. Yeah, getting on board while it's moving, totally different story. But that is the cargo transport vessel. Are you putting that up on the shop? If you're looking for something to tote your goods around, something like this, nice and huge, good basic design too. You can download this and just strip off the fancy stuff off of it, and just build a smaller version to give you more parts that you can actually build with. Maybe put a crane on it for loading stuff onto it. Alright, so let's head over to the Treasure Island and we'll do the Treasure Island tour. I built myself a little track using the track mod in Treasure Island. Tried building a trolley that actually goes around the track, but it's a pretty interesting track, so let's go have a look at it. Alright, so now that we are in Treasure Island, you can see here we have the Treasure Island Trolley, which is a hover train. I decided to try and make a track and then build using hover pads instead of wheels. I got wheels on the inside to grip the track and give me some forward propulsion. There's also some jets on there, some small mini jets, mini thrusters, a couple of normal sized thrusters, dragon thrusters there in the back. It's also set to go like puff, 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 puff like a train would, so it looks a little more like a train, like a trolley, a little more personality to it. I tried making a train with multiple tracks, cars behind it. Didn't work out so well. You might be able to see in the background there, it gets a little crazy in some points, but it's actually a nice tour of Treasure Island. So let's take a tour of Treasure Island, shall we? And we'll take a look at our sights, and we'll see if our trolley can actually survive the entire track. That was half the battle, was making a single car that could survive the whole track. So we are going to close up our Trackmaker mod here, made by Jess 2005. Again, thanks. This is a great mod. I'm sure there's a lot of people enjoying this. If you're unfamiliar with how to use it, when you spawn it in like this onto your screen, F4 allows you to switch between your mouse and back into the window where you're using. So that's a great way to go back and forth in between as you're building your tracks. So we're going to hit number 1. This is fully automated. No controls. You hit number 1. It does its own thing. Let's see if we can get around the track and take the Treasure Island tour. All aboard the Treasure Island tour. We hit number 1. There you go. Puff, puff, puff. As you can see. Oh, woo! Boy, you wouldn't want to be on that trolley, eh? That's like taking your life in your own hands when you're riding on this. Welcome to the tour. I hope you've signed your disclosure agreements and all your insurance is up to date. So now we come down the hill, down next to the water. We come up a wee bit. Around our first corner. Do we survive the first corner? We do. It also has a speed limiter on it to slow itself down. There are some hills on it, but at the same time there's some hills going upwards that you need the extra torque. So again, angle sensors on the inside to activate extra thrusters when you're at certain angles going up, and also angle sensors to speed sensor as well on the inside to adjusted to connected to thrusters facing backwards to slow you down so that when you're coming down a hill you don't go too fast and end up taking out your gear. So we come across the pond here over to this side. As you can see, we have some half pipes to your right, some jumps, infamous loop of fire, I should say. As we come around, we can see an extra tall jump there in the distance. We can see our two-sided quarter pipe, and we can see the road there with another ring of fire in the distance, leading off to the other side of the island, which we'll be coming around to shortly. So we'll be coming up over top of the Bay Boulder. And then down our first hill where we use our braking and hopefully everything is good. We come down to water level at this point of the tour. And we hover across the water. Those hover pads come in handy here, not like we're moving fast enough for them to actually keep us on the water by themselves. But it's a nice effect to come down over top of the bay in the shallows. Now here we're going to come back, loop around. Here's our large quarter pipe jump. Off to your left. To the right, you'll see another spawn area. As we can see, we have our mad scientist block here is going to kick in on top, letting us know that our extra thrusters have been engaged for going up our hill. Here we have a bit of an S-turn, which could be a bit of treachery. As long as we can make it around this corner, we should be alright. Like I was saying, if we can make it around the corner, we'll be alright. Apparently we're not alright. Alright, let's see if we can get back to this point in the track. Alright, and we survived that corner. So here we go on the rest of the track, rest of the tour. Take you up over the canyon on the backside of the island here. If you look to your left, you'll see a cactus. Also to your left, you'll see our 3-stage rock jumping area. As we come over the top of the hill on the backside of the island, we have our giant funnel and another spawn area in the middle of our sand area. You can see the large tunnel off to the right. And we can see ahead of us, we have our uphill slope leading up to the top of our mountain. So let's go up and have a look around at the backside. To the left, you'll also see a soccer arena down below. Another low access area for water and hovercraft. As we head up the side of the mountain here, we'll see some more jump areas up here with quarter pipes up on the wall, and also the pathway leading around the roadway that leads up on the front side of the mountain. Here's another popular spawn area. Continuing up over top of these rocks, we'll get a fantastic view out the left side of the trolley, as we can see the whales swimming in the bay. As we out along the top of the rock face, we see another spawn point, another minigame down below. And we have a giant rock wall here, used by a lot of builders for wall climbers. As we head up here, we'll see we come real close to the wall here. You can almost reach out and touch the rocks. But let's keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. As we head on to the Skyway section of the tour, which takes us out over top of the rear island, small island outside of the back side of the island, of Treasure Island. We'll loop around the backside here. As we can see, there's a giant chasm in between. Great for aerial flying. As we move back in towards the island itself and loop around back near the beginning. See, this is another section of pathway with the road leading up the mountain. We have a large loop section here of rock, which is a great feature on the island. Natural erosion, they say. I think it was dynamite. So as we pass through this section, we'll head up to the floating rocks over top of where we began, far, far down below here at the bowl. This is the one section of the track where we will need to disengage power when we get to this downhill section. Gravity will do its thing, and we don't need anything pushing us any faster than we're going to need to be going. Please make sure your seatbelts and tray tables are in their full and upright locked position, because we're going down, down, down. So right about here, we'll hit number 1 and turn the power off. And we are going to drift down here. Let's see if we can stay on the tracks, people. We're going to hit over 100 kilometers an hour coming down this section. It's another beautiful thing about the hover pads is that we have far less resistance. So we get to about here, and we will drift all the way down to the beginning, over top of our pipe, which travels through the mountain off to the left. Oh, see, we got some damage on the back. Let's see if we can make it all the way back around. Get you folks back to your cars in the parking lot. We'll hit power a little bit here. Come on, hold it together, baby. Come on. Come on. So you can probably make like a roller coaster where it's purely gravity based. No thrusters. So we'll loop back around here. Try and get back to the beginning. Ta-da! Thanks for taking the Treasure Island tour. So if we go into build mode here, you can see on the trolley itself, we have rows of our hover pads under here. I actually have gimbals on negative and positive here for when the front end goes up or down. So again, you can make your track steep, because when it's coming uphill and you want it level, it'll continue, try and go uphill, you'll come right off your tracks. So at a certain angle, you can set that gimbal to pull the front end down, or to lift it up if you're coming down and coming to level so that your front end doesn't smash out. Of course, the old helicopter engine's under here as well for stability, just to control some of those small movements. We got some weights down here to try and keep the weight as low as possible. And having these multiple sets of wheels like this on the train car is good for, believe it or not, you'd think that this would make you angle up and out of the tracks, but having that slope like that on the wheels, different sizes, actually keeps you in the tracks. I know, it's counterintuitive. We also have suspension on here so that these wheels can move in and out to adjust for the size of the tracks and for corners. And this whole mechanism down here with the wheels on it is all based on is hooked to a servo that is at 45 strength with no controls. And it only allows it to move 10 degrees in angle. So that's good for the wheels being able to rotate slightly in the track for coming around corners and things like that. Other than that, it was a pretty straightforward build. Inside, there's those thrusters that are giving us our thrust when we need it. There's a speed sensor up here, which is set to, I believe, 60 kilometers an hour. So that is connected to some reverse thrusters. Just our block up here, we have our fire pot just for looks. We have a couple of lights just for looks as well. It does use a diving bell seat. At one point, the tracks were leading into the water. So if you have some water propellers on there, you can make one that goes underwater as well, as long as you've got enough weight to keep it on the tracks. And again, having one engine just automatically goes way too fast, so that's why I set it for a half-second on, half-second off timer on the motor itself. So we hit number 1, and there's a 5-second duration, 5-second pause. That way you just get that on, off, on, off, on, off, and it can stay at a much more realistic speed where it can stay on the tracks. So that's all I got for you in this video, guys. This track is called the Treasure Island Tour. If you want to download it, download the mod, install it here from this spawn point on Treasure Island. It'll spawn in, and then, yeah, try and build yourself another trolley car. This is the Treasure Island Trolley. I'll be putting that on the shop as well, if you want to check them both out together. Or try and make something like this that, I want to try and make one that actually hangs between the two, still using hover pads, hangs between the two, and then your weight is like slung below, like those, like the roller coasters that have the seat hanging below and the tracks are up above. Something like that. Maybe if you could get going fast enough, some kind of hook system on the inside so that you could actually create a spiraling track or something like that. All kinds of fun. So check out that mod if you haven't already by Jess2005. And thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for all the comments. Love reading them. And we will see you in the next one. Ciao.